This is Worldwide Flava Network. Coast to coast and worldwide.
The views, information, or opinions expressed on the broadcast of Worldwide Flava Network are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent those of Worldwide Flava Network and Live365.com. Worldwide Flava Network is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy of the information contained on any live or recorded broadcast available for listening on the site.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Shout, also known as Color Beauty. Join me on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on WWFN Online Radio. When 2 minutes is not enough, we go into overtime. See you then.
This show is being sponsored by Worldwide Flava Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavanetwork.com.
Tune in Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Positional Sports Talk Show on the Worldwide Flava Network with Big Reg
and J3.
Here in 1992, we present the fabulous What's the Scenario remix.
Good evening, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show, Post, on the Worldwide Flava Network, bringing you a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide you our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports without any hidden agendas or deference to any organizational team. My name is George Silvers Jr., better known as Big Reg, and I'm joined this evening by my partner in crime and brother, Joseph Somerville III. How you doing this evening, J3?
I'm doing well, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great, and glad to finally kick off this thing we've been talking about for so many years.
Absolutely.
We're also joined this evening by another partner in crime, our friend and fellow sports nut, Ed. How you doing, Ed?
I'm fine. Good evening, folks.
So, why are we here this evening starting a new sports talk show? I'd like to tell you I've been an avid sports fan for all my life, watching sports of all types, whether it's on TV or in person. While some may go shopping, some may travel around the world or go to their favorite restaurants, my personal favorite thing to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy live sports. Doesn't matter what kind of sports it is: football, basketball, hockey, combat sports, boxing, UFC, Olympic sports, or even some of those fringe and emerging sports. Some have called this a passion, others have said it's my obsession. But most have agreed that I should have been doing something in sports related a long time ago. So now we have it. So after several years of hints, pushes, and encouragement from my family and closest friends, I could not pass up the opportunity that A. Michelle and the Worldwide Flava Network offered. So I look forward to providing you my passion on the things in sports that catch my attention. J3, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So first of all, I'm a Maryland native, born and raised in Prince George's County. Graduated from high school, went into the Army. I'm a veteran, entrepreneur, educator, community activist, and a mentor. Met A. Michelle online through LinkedIn, and we've been friends ever since. Had the opportunity to come on one of her shows and talk about the mentoring. She talked about she was looking for individuals to do a sports show, and I said, I got just the person, Big Reg, and here we are.
Cool. Now, Ed, you don't have to go down on a big rundown of why you're here tonight, but just give us a little idea of why you are such a big sports fan.
Well, I grew up in a sports hotbed of southwestern Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Migrated down here to Maryland as soon as I got out of high school, and I've been here ever since. I raised my daughter here. Actually, how I ended up meeting Big Reg My daughter and his daughter both went to the University of Alabama together.
Roll Tide.
Roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide.
And we just happened to run into each other one day at the sports bar watching the Alabama game. And Reg, being who he is, so gracious and what have you, invited me over to his table, and we've been cool ever since, talking sports. So anyway, I'm here to talk about sports like everyone else, and hopefully my opinions won't be too controversial.
Bring it on, bro. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Well, I appreciate both of y'all for coming and helping us kick off this show. We have a few other guests in the studio this evening, but we'll let them stay to themselves. But we appreciate you too.
Support. Love the support.
This evening will be a football-heavy show. We will discuss the NFL season kickoff, including our Ravens and Redskins season previews, NFL final cuts, trades, and remaining holdouts. Our positions on the preseason, the first full week of NCAA college football, Roll Tide, and other sports topics that caught our attention, and we'll end the evening with our final post. So relax, enjoy, post on the WWFN online radio. So this Thursday night, we got the NFL kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
They're going black and blue with Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers. My question, will Chicago take the next step? Will Green Bay, with their new coach, be able to move forward and have Aaron Rodgers back in the Super Bowl? And then we get into our Sunday full slate of games. But what do you guys think about the Bears?
Go ahead. Take this.
Well, hold on. So as far as the Bears are concerned, I think the Bears are a little overrated. I really do.
Tell us how you really feel.
Their defense, I think they have something going on with the defense with Mack and, of course, Eddie Jackson in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on to something. But the jury's still out on Trubisky. I think last year everyone wants to point to that Rams game, but if you can recall that Rams game that they played, it was like 0 degrees outside. So you're asking a West Coast team to come play in Chicago. It wasn't going to work. They didn't even want to be there. So I just want to reserve judgment on the Bears right now.
But they do get paid to play regardless of the location and the scenery. So, I mean, you got to be ready.
Yeah, but it's misleading. Seriously, it's misleading. It's hard to play in 0 weather. It's no matter how much you get paid, it's hard.
So it sounds like you're taking the Packers for this game.
Well, we have to see. We haven't seen Aaron Rodgers in the preseason. He was one of the quarterbacks who did not play a snap.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what this new offense is going to look like. We don't know what the new coach is going to look like. We don't know anything.
But that could be to their benefit. You got a brand new coach, brand new offense. No one's seen what it's going to look like against one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL. So maybe that was Green Bay's plan the whole time. Hold back as much as possible and come out and try to surprise Chicago week 1, because those division matchups count double.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
you have a point. Good point.
I still want to reserve judgment on Chicago.
I hear you. And then after Thursday, we kick off that full slate of games. Sunday, got a couple of NFC East clashes. The Washington Redskins go up to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you got them Cowboys who seem like they're working real hard these days to get their man back in camp and be ready for week 1. But we'll touch on that in a little bit. And then we finish up with the Monday night doubleheader. Texans versus Saints. Are the Saints over 2 years of heartbreak and ready to possibly get over the hurdle and make it to the Super Bowl? Have the Texans mortgaged their whole future for this year with the trades they made and not signing a star defensive end, trying to protect the quarterback and prove a point? And then we finish up with the Steelers versus the Patriots.
All I can say is I don't want to be the Texans because I know the Saints, they got revenge on their mind, plain and simple.
Well, let's be honest. The Texans are a hot mess. They have no GM. They have no GM. O'Brien knows he's on borrowed time.
Yep.
Yes, they did mortgage the future. However, Clowney is a prima donna. He's never had double-digit sacks in the NFL. And if you can remember when he was at South Carolina, he had issues with the ball coach.
Mm-hmm.
So let's. I don't think that was a big loss. How can you not have double-digit sacks and J.J. Watt, even in a limited capacity, is in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't get it.
Totally agree.
But I don't believe O'Brien knows what he's doing. No, there's no way I would trade two. Look, you have to.
We'll get into the trade a little bit later. You don't have to break it down. But as far as the Clowney thing, a lot of people talk about the sacks. But you got to remember, he played the strong side. He was on the side where almost 70% of the runs came through. And he was one of the most dominant run defenders at the defensive end position in the NFL. So not only do you pay for sacks, if you can't stop the run, the teams will run up and down all day, and you won't get a chance to rush the quarterback.
Good point.
Good point.
Mhm.
I'll leave it at that.
So let's get into our Ravens season kickoff. Baltimore Ravens are positioned, I think, to be one of the surprise teams in the NFL this year.
I agree.
Totally
People
agree.
sleep on them.
Totally agree.
They did win their division last year.
With a rookie.
Yes.
Not only with the rookie, Lamar Jackson is a Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, that doesn't guarantee success in the NFL.
You're right. That doesn't guarantee success in the NFL. But when you put a Heisman Trophy winner who people say can't pass but threw for over 9,000 yards in college, 3,500 yards the last 2 years, won the Heisman, had a better year the year after he won the Heisman, but never got a snap in the preseason because they thought Joe Flacco was going to be there the whole year. Never got an opportunity to be the number one guy because they thought Joe Flacco was going to be there the whole year. Now the organization has said, we're turning the page. The Super Bowl team era is gone. Ozzie Newsome's retired. He's turned the reins over to Eric DeCosta, his protege. Flacco's in Denver. Terrell Suggs is now in Arizona. C.J. Mosley signed a crazy deal with the Jets that I think the Jets are going to regret 3 years down the road.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Darius Smith signed with Green Bay, and they let Eric Weddle walk out the door. But they bring in Mark Ingram.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Which is
power back
which is an upgrade.
who can tote the rock and gives you another threat with Lamar Jackson in that backfield. They bring in Hollywood Brown. This rookie is going to set the NFL on fire. As long as he doesn't end up like his cousin and be a little crazy, Hollywood is fast as grease lightning.
Mm.
Then you add Pernell McPhee at the linebacker and bring in all-pro ex-Legion of Doom, Mr. Earl Thomas, to show up that secondary. The Ravens, if the young defense can step up, are stacked. And I'm saying it now. They're going to win the AFC North again.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Yeah, let's get at it. Let's get at it. Come on.
I do believe they'll be better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of these pundits that believe that they're going to just fall apart, because really a lot of the folks that they lost, it was time for them to go. As much as I love Sizzle, it was time to move on. Weddle, I think Weddle would show up at the tackle 5 seconds late every game. Again, good guy in the locker room, but I think his time had passed. But I don't think anything. I don't find any slippage with the Ravens. They won a division last year, like you mentioned. All the hype seems to be centered around Cleveland. We don't know what that's going to look like. There's not a microphone that Baker Mayfield doesn't like. And let's see how OBJ. Let's see how he handles December and late November in Cleveland.
Totally agree.
It's particularly if he's not getting the ball the way he wants to get the ball. And for the record, he's hurt again. He hasn't been healthy since 2015. So we'll see on that.
Good point.
Pittsburgh, I think they'll be better, but we shall see. We don't know if the young receivers that they have are capable of stepping up. We don't know what Ben's going to look like now. So, yeah, I would say right now you have to favor the Ravens. You just have to.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree with you. Cleveland is the experiment that can go real right or way wrong.
Who's going to be the first one?
You got a rookie head coach that was actually the running backs coach, then got promoted to the QB coach last year, then the offensive coordinator, all in a matter of about 2 months. And now he's the head coach. And he's got the most outspoken players that might be in the NFL, and he's got a handle on that.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting. I think he's on a hot seat, and he doesn't even know it yet. The Steelers. With the Steelers, we'll find out. Is Tomlin as good as everybody thinks?
I don't think so. And speaking about a hot seat, even though he got a contract extension for 1 year, I think that was more ceremonial. I think for the first time in his career, he's actually feeling a little pressure. So, we'll see how that shakes out.
And then Big Ben.
Wow.
After he has the GM say that Big Ben's the only adult in the room.
That was
now
crazy.
Big Ben has to step up and prove that he can actually lead the team.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Was AB the problem, or was it Big Ben?
Time will tell.
So, like I said,
well,
Baltimore
clearly AB. I mean, the way AB is acting in Oakland right now, I'm not defending Ben. I'm not criticizing AB. But, bro, come on.
The man got paid for a helmet. The only player in the NFL that's got a helmet contract now.
Only in America.
Call him crazy. Call him a disruption. All I know is he had no guarantee money. Now he got $30 million, and he got a helmet contract.
He's smart.
Good marketing plan. Good marketing plan.
Business is booming.
So who you like, J3?
I'm talking about the Redskins, bro. Burgundy and gold all the way. Let's go. I think Case Keenum's going to start, unfortunately, but I would definitely like to see Dwayne Haskins behind the snap. And I think in probably the 4th or the 5th game, Jay Gruden's going to realize that he needs to step up and go ahead and put him in and take Case Keenum out.
Jay Gruden might not make it to the 5th game.
That's even better.
With the start schedule that the Redskins have and the things that are going on in that organization. Did you hear that they made Adrian Peterson is not the starting running back this year on the depth chart?
What a waste.
Here's a Hall of Famer.
What a waste.
Man that came in 1 week before the season started last year, rushed for 1,000 yards behind a line that changed every week for the last 10 weeks of the season. And you're going to let a rookie that's coming off a ACL tear and make him the starter? And the rumor is that I heard today that Jay Gruden wanted to cut him.
I'm not surprised. I tell you, Jay Gruden is not one of my favorite coaches. As a matter of fact, I wish he'd have been gone 3 years ago, but he's still here. And I truly believe he wasted RG3's talents.
Well, he ain't start that. The Shanahan started that.
Well,
Shanahan's got that man's leg broke off.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
But we got some good things to look forward to. So Case Keenum's going to get his shot of running another team, and if he does well, he won't be with the Redskins next year, but he's auditioning for the other 30-plus teams out there that may or may not need a starting quarterback or a backup quarterback.
Well, J3, you alluded to the fact that you would prefer to see the kid from Ohio State in there at quarterback right now. But I wouldn't mind seeing that, but let's get Trent Williams back first, then put him in there.
Do we really want to talk about Trent Williams? Because in my opinion, I think he's overrated. That's my opinion.
But Donald Penn he had 1 foot in the retirement. I'm just saying.
I hear you.
Let's protect the young. Let's protect the young guy.
But if Trent's in, will he protect him? I mean, because last couple of games that he was in, there was an awful lot of sacks on that side of the field.
Yeah, but part of that was they had the left guard position was a turnstile. So it's hard to just concentrate on your position when you also got to worry about somebody coming in the inside, which is the shortest and quickest way
I hear you.
to get to the quarterback.
I hear you.
But I think the Redskins will have a dominant defense.
Ooh,
agree.
Montez Sweet.
I really do. I had reservations about Mr. Sweet, but I have none. All those fears or concerns were out the window. I worry about his health. Let's see if that is, if that heart thing crops back up. But he looked good in the preseason. Looked really good.
The man played in the SEC, was second in the SEC in sacks. Plus, is a good run defender. There aren't no chumps in SEC.
No.
Not when you got to play against Alabama,
Roll Tide.
Auburn, LSU. But yeah, that defense, I'm excited about the defense. That's probably the only part of the team I'm excited about. You're going to roll out Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis. Got a couple of good guys coming off the bench. Tim Settles from Virginia Tech coming off the bench to rotate in. Then you add in first-round pick Montez Sweat. Then you got Ryan Anderson coming in on that outside. Finally, Ryan Kerrigan will have somebody on the other side to hopefully allow him to be single team instead of double teamed almost every play.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that Ryan Kerrigan doesn't get the love, it seems like nationally, that he should actually get?
Very good.
I mean, he's been great since day one. He hasn't really had a bad year yet.
Quality is kept. Ryan Kerrigan, I believe, either late this year, if he has his normal season, which is 10 to 12 sacks, or early next year, will break the Redskins' all-time sack record, which is currently held by Mr. D, Dexter Manley.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
But it's not flashy.
No.
He just comes, does his work, and gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that said, the Redskins, if they're lucky, are 5-11.
No, George.
Come on, man.
Come on. 5-11.
Let's go 8-8. I say 8-8. What you say, Ed?
They haven't been 8-8 since Jay Gruden's first year.
Stay optimistic, bro.
Okay,
Stay
let's
optimistic.
look at the division. If you just look at the division, I will give you the Cowboys. They should be okay. The Cowboys probably win 9 or 10 games.
Well, I don't know about that one.
The Philly, I'm not sold on Philadelphia. Carson Wentz doesn't have his security blanket no more. He's in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So, when has Carson Wentz has been healthy 1 year, his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't healthy in college. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think the Redskins are going to surprise some people. And plus, if they don't, Gruden won't be there.
Which is a plus.
Which would be a blessing.
All in agreement?
Oh, God.
Yeah. The issue is you've got a poor organization run by a man who's concerned about making money more than winning. Sometimes against what his actual football people are trying to do. I actually think the football minds in the building are actually starting to build a strong team. They're drafting well now. They're drafting for need. They're going heavy on players that have shown not just flashes in college, but consistently performed in college. So, but they still the Redskins.
HTTR. HTTR.
We'll see starting Sunday when they take that L to the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Wow.
And you know why I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the next hot topic. NFL cuts trades and the remaining holdouts. I'd like to talk real briefly about what happened this past Saturday. You had all 32 teams that had to cut their rosters from 90 to 53. That's approximately 1,200 people that were told A, you lost your job. Your dream that you've worked all your life is now over. If you're lucky, we may bring you back on the practice squad. Or if you just happen to be a cap casualty, hopefully you'll be able to catch on with another team. But if you do, it's going to be a minimum contract. Or welcome to the real world.
Exactly. Welcome to the real world.
Find a job. Some of the notable cuts that caught my eye, though, were LaShawn McCoy. The Bills paid him big time to leave Philadelphia, bring him in, and then cut him and keep Frank Gore, who's actually older than LaShawn McCoy.
He's cheaper though.
Right.
Money talks, huh?
It's a business.
You know that.
But McCoy landed on his feet.
He did.
KC.
He did.
$4 million. He gets to play with the Golden Boy, NFL MVP. He might get a ring.
Whoa. Did Tom Brady retire?
Really?
He might get a ring. Then you got Deshaun Kaiser, got cut from Green Bay. And then, what is John Gruden doing? How did he sign a fourth quarterback to an active roster?
To get inside John Gruden's head would be you would get a headache trying to do that. You would go insane. But I will say, to his defense, there's rumor has it that Peterman is going on the injured reserve. So he's back down to 3. That's the rumor. We haven't seen any movement yet, but the rumor's out there.
Peterman? You're saving a position for Peterman?
Well, they need a third quarterback technically.
The last time we saw him in a real NFL game, do you remember what he did?
I think was it 5 interceptions
within the first half?
He got booed out of Buffalo. How do you do that?
And you get another job. And if he goes on IR, he gets paid for sitting at home. I hate to be a quarterback for John Gruden. He did it in Tampa Bay, and it seems like he's going to do it again. And with a $10 million a year guaranteed contract for another 8 seasons.
Do you think John Gruden even cares about winning in Oakland this year?
Nope.
No, they're actually trying to build for the future for that big move to Las Vegas next year. But I don't think he cares at all. Besides that little bit of competitive, that man got 80 million coming to him.
Yes.
Fire me, I go home for 80 million.
Yes.
Wow.
And the New England Patriots continue something that is just astronomical. The best position in football is to be a backup for Tom Brady. Because if you be a backup for Tom Brady, even for a short second, somebody gonna sign you to a big contract and pay you, and you haven't showed anything. Brian Hoyer gets cut and is picked up less than 24 hours with a 3-year contract. Guaranteed that man $9 million up front. He just got cut.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Must be nice to, be under the tutelage of Bill Belichick.
Right.
And then you got those 2016 players that were drafted who everyone spent first and second round picks. And they didn't keep them to the end of their rookie contracts. Con Treadwell, wide receiver, Minnesota Vikings, Noah Spence, linebacker, Tampa Bay, and your boy, good old Josh Dodson of the Skins. But he did end up on his feet. He back with his boy. Minnesota got rid of one 2016 bus and signed another one.
I actually wonder whatever happened to Noah Spence. I thought he looked promising as a rookie down in Tampa. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out down there. But I thought he was going to show a little more than he actually ended up doing.
Tampa's on their third coach in 3 years.
Yeah.
They still got some decent players though.
Yeah, but it's hard, to establish yourself where the people who drafted you are no longer in the building.
That's when you prove yourself.
Either prove yourself or you get a garbage bag and say, son, you did everything we asked you. We appreciate all your efforts, but we're moving on another direction.
Yeah.
We got a bus ticket for you. Go see the lady in office.
Mm.
So them Cowboys are working real hard to get Zeke back in camp. As we were rolling in to the station this evening, your boy Zeke was supposed to be back from Cabo, landed in Dallas, and supposedly working on a 4 to 5 year deal, $14 to $15 million per year. They just trying to work out the specifics and how much money they're going to guarantee a man that gets drunk, pulls, knocks over security guards, and you're going to give this man $45, $50 million guaranteed.
So my question is, like we've discussed before, is would you pay him or wouldn't you? Because again, on the field, he's a valuable player. His antics outside are totally different.
Well, I don't think they have a choice but to pay him, because it's been proven that when he's not on the field, Dak is just regular. So you have to pay him. However,
Has that really been proven though? Zeke, Dak got better when that man from Alabama stepped up.
Serious?
When they got that wide receiver.
Okay. I will say this. The management team down in Dallas didn't do a good job of putting playmakers around Dak. I will say that. And his play definitely got better when Amari got there. However, if you take Zeke off that team, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work, because you have to admit, even with his problems, he's a top no less than 3 or 4 back in the league.
Oh, I agree. He's a top back.
Now,
but is he worth $15 million?
Well, of course, some of that 15.
I don't think so.
Well, some of that 15, you have to put in a retainer for his attorneys.
Okay, so
obviously that's good. That's that's there. But
let me ask you this real quick. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Ezekiel Elliott or would you rather have Todd Gurley?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Really?
Because Todd Gurley has arthritic knees, and Zeke's never been hurt. You can trace, you could trace it back to his high school and college days. He's never been hurt. Now, if you look at Gurley had ACL injury at Georgia. So right now, I would prefer Zeke, even though it's only going to be for 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about running backs, what y'all think about the Melvin Gordon situation? Not only are the Chargers not paying him, they've told him, we done talking. So either report to camp and play for your current contract or don't play at all.
These diva running backs. Look, the running back position, if you get, now, of course, you're going to have outliers. But if you get 4, maybe 6 years, strong years out of a running back, then you have to call it a career. You have to call it a day, and you have to get someone new. I mean, really, because the pounding that they take in the NFL is outrageous.
And that's why they want to get paid, Ed.
I understand.
That's why Zeke.
I understand.
That's why Melvin Gordon is saying.
But Melvin Gordon,
pay me.
Melvin
Because
Gordon,
in 3 years, when my contract's up, you don't want to pay me. You're gonna say, we gave you the ball, Zeke, 350 times a year for 5 years. You only got about 300 more touches.
I agree. We're on the same page with that. But if you think about it, first of all, let's clear this. Let's clear this up. Melvin Gordon is not Todd Gurley.
Agreed.
He is not Zeke. Heck, he's not Le'Veon Bell.
Ooh.
Agreed.
So what he needs to get to camp. He needs to get in. He needs to go ahead and get in there and play.
But you said it earlier, Ed.
He's horrible.
It's a business. It's all about money. So he's trying to get the same amount of money that any of these other running backs can get.
It.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Well, let's talk about finally the the Jadeveon Clowney power play. The Texans tried to trade him to Miami. Jadeveon even went to Miami, visited the team, called the Texans back and said, I'm not signing my tender.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care what you work out with Miami. I'm not going there. I want to go to Seattle. So they sent him to Seattle for a 3rd round pick and a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
A Pro Bowl defensive end, where some say he doesn't get enough sacks. But plays to run, has been healthy for the last 2 seasons, something that the wild man on the other side, while he's one of the best to ever do it, is always hurt. For a 3rd round pick, even if they would have kept him and played him, they would have got a 3rd round compensatory pick next year, and he could have been playing for them this year. So I don't know what the Texans were doing. And then to top that off, to trade for a tackle for 2 first rounders, a 2nd rounder, and to take Miami's headache and Kenny Stills.
Okay, Stills had to go. Only reason they threw Stills in as a here, just can you please take him too? He had an issue. Stills had an issue with
+1.
the owner. Stills had the issue with the owner, and you knew that relationship was not going to last. So then you take the 2 for Tunsil. Well, they were kind of between a rock and a hard place, and I say that because the franchise is number 4. If anything happens to him, if he can't bear to get on an airplane like he could in last year because he was injured, that's a problem. You have to protect Deshaun Watson at all costs, even if it requires 2 firsts. Now, if they would have had a proper GM in place,
that would have never happened.
It would have never happened. But what can you do now?
Or if the Redskins weren't being spiteful, they could have traded the tackle that they don't have in camp. County, and possibly a 2nd or 3rd rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's true.
Enough of the NFL. Let's talk college football. Week 1. There was a week 0, but we're really not going to, talk about that Florida-Miami game because it's not much worth talking about. Number 1, Clemson. They're back.
Never left.
52-14, another thrashing over Georgia Tech. Clemson has been running through everybody since the middle of last year. That boy Travis Etienne, the running back, 12 carries, 205 yards, 3 TDs. The Golden Boy had an off night, threw 2 interceptions, and they still won 52-14.
I will say the running back for Clemson is what makes that straw go. I mean, that he's the engine for that team. That and that offensive line, he's the engine. Not taking anything away from Lawrence. He broke my heart over and over again last year. So I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's the kid from Louisiana. He makes that Clemson team go. Stat wise, I'm not too impressed. It's the ACC. I know people want to say, well, Clemson won. Clemson beat down Alabama, and they're always there. But Clemson is an ACC team. They reside there. They dominate there, but they're really an SEC team.
Yes, exactly. You got an SEC football player as a head coach who built the SEC program with ex-SEC coaches, and they're an SEC team playing in the weak ACC. But we won't pick on that too much longer. Roll Tide. Got off to a little slow start. But then Tua did what Tua does. 42-3 over Duke. The big thing and the most important thing that I saw last Saturday was our young defense stepped up.
Ooh. The babies in the middle. We have the nose tackle, and Alabama also has the 2 middle linebackers that are true freshmen. They did a nice job. The kid from Baltimore, Lee, Really impressive.
Was all over the field Saturday.
I think Alabama's going to be good. They're in good hands. I think it's going to take some time. They have to straighten out that interior offensive line.
Absolutely.
But other than that, they should be fine.
And as my daughter says, as long as the kicker comes through every now and then, they'll be back in the playoffs. The one team that they probably have to worry about is number 3, Georgia. They looked decent with their 30-6 win over Vanderbilt, but that's SEC against SEC. And Vanderbilt, believe it or not, even though they are the Ivy of the South, is actually a pretty good football team.
They are.
And they are going to give the East their run for their money this year. So that was a good win. Jake Fromm, DeAndre Swift.
Talking about offensive lines, Georgia also has a great offensive line.
Yeah, very well. But the most impressive thing I saw came up from number 4, Oklahoma.
Jalen.
Did you see what Jalen Hurts did?
He has no competition in that conference. He's going to run roughshod over every team he plays there.
Rough shots are understatement. That man went 20 for 23, 332 yards passing, 3 TDs, and then carried the ball 16 times for 176 yards and another 3 TDs. 508 yards total offense and 6 TDs. And he only got there in April. Imagine what he's going to look like halfway through the season.
Natural talent. He has natural talent.
Oklahoma may be looking at their 3rd Heisman Trophy winner in a row.
I think I want him actually to win the Heisman. The last thing I want is I do not want, and I repeat, I do not want Tua from Alabama to win the Heisman. I want him to finish 2nd. I don't want him to finish 1st because I want him to be a great pro.
Okay.
Very few Heisman Trophy winners transition to the NFL and become great pros.
Wow.
So will any of the other teams step up and make a way in the NCAA this year? You got Ohio State that has their transfer, Justin Fields, come in, put up 4 TDs. LSU, do they really have an offense finally?
No.
Or was it just they was playing Georgia Southern?
Georgia Southern.
Can your boy Jim Harbaugh finally beat Ohio State? Urban's gone. If not now, when?
I don't see it happening. I think Ohio State actually has one of the easiest paths to the playoffs of any top 10 team.
They may have an easy path, but they still got to win.
I hear you. I think we're going to look up this time next year and say, Alabama, Clemson, Part 5.
Wow.
So while the football is exciting and everybody's ready for that and happy that that's kicking off, there were a couple of other things that, caught my eye during the week. The U.S. Open is going on now.
Good matches.
Serena.
Yeah.
Did you see how Serena look?
Say it again.
Serena's in shape.
Have
How
mercy.
does she keep doing this at age 37? like 10, 15, 20 years ago, you never seen like tennis players, particularly women tennis players, last this long. And she just she keeps getting better and better. She just keeps going and going and going. And she's playing against these young girls. Well, women, I'm sorry. They're good.
Some of them are young girls.
Yeah,
We're
Coco.
gonna talk about Coco.
She's breaking the mold, man. She's breaking the mold.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
I think a lot of these young ladies that she's playing against actually motivate her to keep on going. The Coco Golfs of the world. 15 years old. I think she's the second edition of Venus Williams. Her body type, her look, even her game is very similar. And her father actually is using the Williams blueprint for her, moving her through the junior ranks into the professional ranks. Naomi Osaka.
I love Naomi.
I love Naomi, but I think she regrets that decision she made after winning Australia and firing a coach. She said she wasn't having fun in tennis, but there's also no fun when you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the men's side, Novak's gone. A lot of the big names are gone, but you got the old heads, Roger and Rafa. The only major that they haven't played a final against each other. It might happen this year.
I hope so.
On Ash.
Also, we had a couple of good boxing matches. The man, they call him Machine, Vasily Lomachenko, added a third 135-pound belt to his collection, beat out Luke Campbell, gold medalist from England, went to England to whip him up based on all the cards, didn't lose a round. Islandi Lore, 154-pound ex-Titleist, beat Canelo's older brother. He'd been chasing Canelo for 4 years. So if you can't get Canelo,
You gotta get his brother.
might as well get Rick Ramon. And then I know most of y'all don't follow UFC, but UFC had a big night in China. They had their first Chinese UFC belt holder, young lady Zhang Weili, stopped Jessica Andrade of Brazil, who's a monster, and she did it in 48 seconds. So now, let's get to our final post. J3, what you got for me this evening?
My final post for this evening is I want to see players step up to the plate just like Andrew Luck did. I think he made an excellent career move in stepping back and saying enough is enough because of his health. I think money is a good thing, but it's not everything. And if you don't have your health, the money's not even going to matter.
Ed, got anything for us on the final post?
I'm just looking forward to the Texas A&M game at Clemson. I want to see if last year was a mirage or if Texas A&M is really ready to step up in the SEC West. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game too, Ed. Texas A&M spent a lot of money. My final post is very similar to J3. The NFL is changing. Early retirements used to be seldom. I think we're going to see them more often. There's a drop in participation throughout this country in football. Parents, particularly mothers, are saying, not my child.
Mm-hmm.
Their brain is too important.
Mm-hmm.
Their players are taking control of their careers. Like you said, Andrew Luck chose himself over the team. You got Rob Gronkowski last week. I don't know if you saw his press conference, but Rob Gronkowski, football was taking all the joy out of his life.
Mm-hmm.
That he couldn't get out of bed. And that's the reason why he retired. Not that he didn't want to play football, but he knew if he kept playing football, he was going to have problems. And most importantly, a lot of people didn't pick this up. A lot of news people didn't pick it up. But LaRon McClain's social media pleas last week for the NFL to give him help, a former Pro Bowl fullback from the Ravens, pleading all over Instagram, Facebook for the NFL to help him because as he says, my head's not right. I can't sleep. I need help. And all you keep doing is putting more paper in front of me. I need help or I might do something. So I'm glad that the NFL players are starting to take control of their careers like the NBA players, making business decisions, family decisions, and most importantly, letting the team owners know I'm a businessman now, not just you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time, the opportunity to share our position on sports with you. Please tune in next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for our next show. Also, please tell your friends, family, and share us on your social media networks. Have a good evening, a great week. This has been Positional Sports Talk Show on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Please stay tuned for Overtime, featuring Miss Color Beauty next.
All right. My dog. Good job.
Great job.